So, welcome to the 4th episode of our Minecraft and Unity series. So last time we were implementing our inventory to our Unity game. And now I'd like to give you an idea on how you can create a simple world generation algorithm to randomly create almost infinite worlds. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. So in Unity, if you watch my previous episodes, you'll know that I was using a block texture script in order to render my textures to every single one of my blocks. And as it turned out, that was eating heavily on performance, since I couldn't use static batching anymore. So what I did to make it perform a bit better for you, I've created these models in advance in Blender that you already have a texture on them, so that I'm now able to use static batching without any problems. If you want to know how I did that, please let me hear in the comments. So you can create and render tens of thousands of blocks with relative ease. So instead of having to create our world manually like that, we can now delete all of our block instances and add a script to our parent object instead. And don't worry, I will show you my specific script at the end of this video, but you can also find it in the description. And with this one, I can easily type in the matrices that I want, the seed I'd like to have, and my block prefabs right here, where if you don't got any prefab for your bedrock block, you can also use stone or dirt for all of these instead. And now what most of the people would do is to generate the world at the start of our game, but what I personally prefer is to generate it in edit mode, like that, so that I can see how it will look like in advance, make some changes if I want. But it has the disadvantage that all of these blocks instances are not bound to the prefab anymore, so if I make any changes to like this prefab, that won't apply to these blocks anymore, so I have to regenerate the world. And by the way, height refers to Unity's y-axis, which is this axis right here. And as you can see, this one will work for greater world sizes almost as fast as for small ones. But if you're planning to create a bigger world, I would still encourage you to use multiple of them as some kind of chunks, or to watch one of my future videos, as I will improve the whole project over time. Now let's continue by diving into our script. So in case you didn't know, the word custom editor script derives from the editor class, and its only purpose is to create like this generate world button in the Unity inspector, which is done by overriding the onInspector GUI function, drawing all of the public attributes as you used to, and then create this button that, if clicked, uses the word singleton to generate the world, or if we lost the instance, display a warning in the console. To the word script, again I want this one to execute in edit mode, have these attributes that I was showing you earlier, this separated collection of blocks. It contains of these blocks that we were just generating. And in order for the other script to access this one, I want my world to be a singleton that I, on awake, want to assign. Then as soon as you click the generate button, I want to delete all existing blocks, insert the seed to a random number generator, and iterate through a two-dimensional space, which is like our surface at the very top. Then I want to create the small mountains using performant noise. Adding the seed right here makes the performant noise like move to the up and to the right, so that it won't be symmetrical from the origin. And then we make it an integer, so that we don't have to mess around with blocks intersecting into each other. Then we create our grass block at the very top. We create a child object in Unity's hierarchy, and this one should better say dirt position. We want to descend 2 blocks from our grass block and create a line of dirt blocks to our specified position. Then comes the same for our stone blocks, but with the difference that we want to make them stop at a certain height, which is our height specified in the inspector, plus 1 to the top. so we still have enough space for our bedrock layer, which we then instantiate right here, line per line. Creating a block line looks as follows. We got our starting position, our target position, and the block that we want to have there. And as soon as we didn't reach our target position, we increase or decrease our current height. And as these two lines are at the very top of our do while loop, the very first position will be excluded. And then we create the corresponding block, as mentioned previously. How we clean our old word when generating is by removing the very first block of the words child blocks until there are no more, and we use destroy immediate to make it work in edit mode. So let's take a look at the current state of our game, and from what it appears to me, all of our game's mechanics are working as they should. I'm not sure if you noticed, but our player's movement has become a bit smoother since I was adding this physics material to it. So if you want to get access to this whole demo project, please check out my Patreon. And if you want to find out how we created all of our other mechanics in the first place, please check out the playlist, and I'll see you next time.